Okay, so I'm back, and when I left off, if I'm not mistaken, we were talking about the deed situation. Um, and the arbitrator McManus had said this is where you may have run into a problem, and he was actually directing that comment towards Primrose, and he says because the mortgage is in Fernando's name and the deed is in all these other people's names, so this may be a problem, may present a problem. So, idiot comes up with another potential, in my opinion, okay, in my opinion, uh, uh, another attempt to hoodwink us, so to speak, or to pull the wool over our eyes, or con us, or whatever the case may be. He proceeds to say that, and there was some other dialogue in there that will probably snap back to me in the midst of it, and as it does, when it does, I'll bring it out. He goes on to say that oh no, wait, there was a point when no, that happened after. I'm so sorry. Okay, so he goes on to say something like, well, if you, Tanisha, do a quick claim deed back to your father, we may be able to negotiate with you. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? We may. You're asking me to give up my personal stake in the property, and you're not telling me that you can, work with us. If we do that, you're saying that we may be able to work with us. Let me ask you this, straight up. If I do a quick claim deed of the property back over to my father, and I do mention, and I'm not sure that that's completely possible to do without attorneys for my children, because they have stake in the property as well. And in the past, when I had considered selling the house at one point, I was told by an attorney that they would need a guardian ad litem or their own legal representation because of the fact that they have stake in this property, and their best interest had to be considered. So I'm not even sure how that would work. And then, but if I did this, will you then negotiate a resolution with me? He says, and this is very important, and I will get back to you why and emphasize why this was very important. I doubt that the lender will be willing to do that. I said, well, can you find out? He goes, well, first you have to change the deed back over to your father. Now, I don't know all the legalities of this and stuff. I really don't. There was no lawyer that did the quick claim deed. My father and I did it. Obviously, if we had, money for lawyers for every single thing that needs to happen, we probably wouldn't be in the situation that we are right now. So I am, however, smart enough to know that you are circumventing the question, you are avoiding the question, basically, and you're asking me to do something but giving me no guarantees that you'll be able to work with me afterwards, in spite of the fact that you're telling me that you definitely can't work with us if I don't do this. Okay, fine. So now, at this point, our arbitrator says basically that we're ineligible for this program because of the fact that actually he didn't even really get to give a clear reason why. He kind of indicated because of the situation with the deed and the mortgage being, in separate names. The mortgage, he explained, follows the person who took out the loan, which would be my father, and he literally begins to start filling out papers, letting us know the procedure that would happen. Basically, like, we're not eligible, we'll get something in the mail, and we have, I don't know how many days, 20 or 10 or something like that, to be able to come back again, and I don't know, I guess that was like to dispute it, or if we were in appeal it, or I'm assuming this like this. So now as he's saying this, I'm like, what the hell just happened here? What is going on? So I say, wait a minute. How could you tell me that we're not eligible? Okay. On one hand, we have idiot over here. I didn't say idiot. I said he. He's saying that there's a possibility that they would be able to work with us if I quit claim the property back over to my dad. You're not even giving me an opportunity to find out, what's involved with all of that. I did mention that, about the kids and their best interest, and not knowing whether or not they need a lawyer or something. And you're immediately writing us off as if we're not eligible for the program. I really don't understand, because it sounds like if I do what he says, they may be willing to work with me. He's not being real clear on that. Guys, I got to take this call. It's very important, so I got to hold this. All right. I don't know where I was. This country is amazing. That was a call that I had to take. And something that definitely should be spoken of, perhaps on another. Definitely something to address at another time. Just learned how the government, from an attorney, robs people left and right legally. It's crazy, 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 but something else. All right, I'm not sure where I left off at, but in any event, we are over there. We're over here with the attorneys in Monroe County and the what the heck, arbitrator. All right, so the arbitrator is ready to write everything off until I say, wait, eligibility, criteria for the program, I don't get it. My father, potentially, based on what you guys are saying, can still be the deed holder and the mortgage, the person financially responsible for the mortgage. I have to look into some stuff. How are you writing us off as ineligible? Well, as I pose this question, and then I say, what kind of mediation is any of this? I haven't seen anything mediated whatsoever. I don't get it. I don't understand what is going on here. All right. As I state that, the attorney stops writing what he's writing, and he goes, okay, this is what we'll do. And I'm sorry, I shouldn't call him the attorney. I should refer to him as the arbitrator, although he is an attorney. He says, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. I have a date open in February. I can give you a date in February. I can only imagine that the attorney idiot, Mr. Idiot, who was sitting to the right of me, made a face of some sort, because then the conciliator or whatever says, well, I can push it up to January. I know that your people, Mr. He didn't call him idiot, but you know that I'm calling him idiot, Primrose, are not going to be happy with this. I know they're not going to be happy with this. How the hell do you know they're not going to be happy with this? This is what's going through my mind. How do you know they're not going to be happy with this? Based on just what we talked about here today. Okay, because we really didn't talk about anything. So, I'm like, well, wait a minute. Are you telling me that there's no, we have no options here or whatever? And the guy goes, yeah, we do. The guy, Primrose, Mr. Idiot, says, yeah, we do. You could cash surrender the keys, do whatever, whatever, whatever. I was like, no, listen, let me explain something to you. I have every intention on doing everything in my power to keep my home. Okay? We've struggled some hardships. We were prepared to come in here and try to resolve some of them, get back on track, work this out. And none of this is being afforded to us. At which point, the arbitrator interjects and says, this is what we'll do. I have a court date, January 15th, 1 o'clock. I think it's 1 o'clock. January 15th, 1 o'clock, to revisit this situation. What I suggest that you do is go to an attorney, he tells me, go to an attorney, me and my father, and seek some legal counsel. You can get it through the Monroe County, whatever, and I know the name, but right now it escapes me. And it'll be about $25, and you can get a consultation and find out what's going on and see how they can help you in this matter. So I said, okay. And then we'll come back on the 15th and we'll revisit the matter. Mr. Idiot also says, yeah, you can go to the, wasn't the Bar Association, whoever. You can go to them and maybe North Penn Legal Services or something like that. I have the information. And it shouldn't cost you more than $25. Get an attorney and don't ask for me, he said. I said, well, are you saying that because of any other reason other than because it would be a conflict of interest? Don't worry. I'll never ask for you. But thank you for the advice. Basically, and that, that kind of summarizes it. And, no. Right before that, he goes, Tanisha, what does it matter? What does it matter if it takes 6 months for me to get your house? If it happens now or 6 months from now. Okay? What difference does it make? That you never know what could happen in 6 months. And although I want to settle this right now, I was here to try to work something out right here, right now, today, so that instead of your mortgage company waiting 6 months to get payment, we could start payment effective as soon as 2 weeks from now and maintain a consistent payment. That's part of the difference. Part of the difference is going to take longer for you to get your money because I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to try to save my home, I said up to and including bankruptcy. I don't know what relief that will afford or, what comes with that, but up to and including bankruptcy, I will go to try to save this home for our family. So, all right, needless to say, we leave, whatever. We're a little bit relieved because of the time factor, and actually really more so just stressing about how long it's taken, whether or not we got a ticket. This is immediately after, whether or not we have a ticket, me getting back in time to get my children, and yada, 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 yada. My, those kind of things. So it's not until much later that, you lay down at night and you reflect about, well, I do anyway, and my father did too, reflect on the incidents that occurred during the day. And wow, it was amazing. A couple of things were amazing. It did lead me to do some research on the eligibility requirements for this program. It also led me to find some articles. I'm going to kind of read them to you. Some of them are kind of old, but they're relative specifically to Monroe County and the foreclosures in this area and this program. that we participated in just on that date, the 28th. All right. This is the title of an article that is from the Pocono Record. The title is Monroe County Offers Program to Curb Foreclosures. It's by the Pocono Record, a Pocono Record writer on January 7th, 2011. Okay, the article says, Monroe County Court has launched a voluntary program to help financially distressed homeowners postpone legal action and possibly avoid foreclosure. Monroe County President Judge Ronald E. Viken said the Mortgage Foreclosure Diversion Program was implemented this week in response to the record number of local mortgage foreclosure filings. The 2,029 filings last year marks the fourth consecutive year those filings broke a record. Starting this week, when a foreclosure complaint is filed with the court by a lender, the county sheriff's office will include program information with the complaint that deputies serve on the homeowner. The homeowner will have 15 days to call a designated nonprofit consumer counseling agency and to file paperwork with the county to enter the program. Now, I just want to stop right there to let you know that I did, in fact, do this. When I got that, I called CCCS, Consumer Credit Counseling Services of Monroe County. And when I called them, they told me to call them back a month before the hearing. And I explained to them that I had already been told that it could take 6 months for me to get a hearing. And they said, yeah, well, everything is backed up. Call back a month. Or call us back when you get the hearing notice or whatever. Okay. Now keep in mind, this article says that the homeowner will have 15 days to call a designated nonprofit consumer counseling agency and to file paperwork with the county to enter the program. I did file the paperwork with the county to enter the program within the allotted time frame. Okay. The court will impose a 60-day delay in legal proceedings while a court-appointed attorney schedules a conciliation conference, and that's in quotation, conciliation conference, between the borrower and lender. The borrower must submit a payment proposal to the lender's attorney 15 days before the conference. The court won't impose settlement terms, said Judge Arthur Zulik, who worked with Judge Margarita Patty Worthington to develop program provisions. Quote, this will require the lender to directly respond to the borrower's proposal, Zulik said. That was end quote, Zulik said. Keep in mind, I did tell you the proposal was never looked at, never addressed, no questions about it asked. I had documentation there. None was requested, viewed, commented on, or anything whatsoever. The copy of the hardship letter was provided to the conciliator, who also never picked it up during the entire time we were there. All right, I go back to the article. Okay. This will require the lender to directly respond to the borrower's proposal, Zulik said. We're not forcing the lender to change the terms of the mortgage. In too many foreclosures, particularly those involving large banks, the lender's attorney has no authority to either accept or reject a proposed settlement presented in court, Zulik said. A face-to-face meeting provides the best opportunity for a solution, Worthington said. Now, keep in mind that part of the reason that this program was established, at least from my interpretation of this and other documents, is because in the past, the lender's attorneys who were present had no authority to accept or reject the proposed settlement presented in court. When I asked the question, will you be able to work a plan out with us if I quitclaim deed the property back to my dad? The response I received was, I'd have to check with my client. Which means, in fact, in reality, that the attorney present for this meeting did not have the authority to either accept or reject a proposed settlement. It would seem to me that they were in they were not in compliance with the program regulations. However, we were about to be excluded from the program. Okay, I'll go on to the article. I think what we hear over and over again is, I send checks and they keep getting returned to me, or I lost my job and all I get is a recording. She said the foreclosure diversion program will be monitored to see if changes are needed. 3 local attorneys, Richard James, Tim McManus, and Robert Northstein, have been named by Viken to mediate the conciliation hearings. Craig Sellner of Consumer Credit Counseling Service, there goes SCCS, of Northeastern PA, the agency distressed homeowners must consult, said he is optimistic the program will work. 10 Pennsylvania counties have introduced foreclosure intervention programs, including a Luzerne County program his agency started working with in September. CCCS has worked with 4 clients in the Luzerne program, with 1 set of homeowners reaching agreement. Excuse me. And the other 3 still pending. Monroe County homeowners previously served by the county with foreclosure papers, but whose cases are still pending, may seek enrollment in the local program by contacting the Prothonotary office. Eligibility requirements and forms are posted at www.co.monroe.pa.us by clicking on quick links on the right side of the screen. That's the end of the article. Okay. Now, Pocono Record, again, that one was from January 7th. This one was from a few days prior to that. The title says, Record Number of Foreclosures in Monroe. Realty experts, we haven't seen the peak. Okay, and again, this was by a Pocono Record writer on January 4th, 2011. And the article reads, Monroe foreclosures hit a new high last year, continuing a troublesome trend that began in the middle of the past decade. Monroe County racked up 2,029 new foreclosure filings in 2010. That followed three successive years in which foreclosures set new county records. But foreclosures jumped 6% last year, the smallest growth since 2006, when the rate jumped by more than 50%. Still, market professionals think it will get worse before it gets better. And this is a quote. I don't think we are top out on foreclosures, end quote, said Vicki Brockelman of Commonwealth Real Estate. Said Vicki Brockelman of Commonwealth Real Estate Your Way in Mount Pocono. Quote, I think we will see another peak, end quote. The change, according to Brockelman, is in the types of homes going into foreclosure now. Foreclosure centered on homes below $200,000 during the current cycle, but now the larger, higher-priced homes built during the 2005-2006 bubble are going into foreclosure. Quote, in a lot of them, the owners have tried to sell, but the prices are too high, Brockelman said. Well, quote again, and I'm forgetting to say the end quotes, but follow me and look up the article. We'll see them become available in the first quarter. There will be some good deals out there, end quote. My house happens to be a good deal, by the way. Unlike many of the foreclosed houses in this area, which, if I'm not mistaken, at one point, Monroe County, Pennsylvania, was labeled as the first or the second county in the state leading in foreclosures. I say that mine is one of those deals because of the fact that, unlike many of the homes that have foreclosed, we don't owe more on the house than the house is worth. We really don't. And unfortunately, a lot of other people who have gone through this situation and are going through the situation did owe a lot more on their property than the property was worth due to other illegal scamming activities that took place to help those individuals get into their homes in the first place. And it's real interesting because although I don't think I got scammed, I do know that the person that sold us this house was investigated and in the news over and over and over again for being a big part of the fraud that took place in this county that led to the devastation of so many families and the loss of so many homes. All right, back to the article. And again, that can be looked up and verified. All right. Last year, according to Brockleman, many distressed higher-end homeowners tried to move their homes through short sales. That's when a homeowner gets the lender to agree to accept less than the total amount due on a mortgage so the home can be sold at a lower price. Many of the homes still didn't sell, and now the banks are putting them in foreclosure. And because of the influx of higher-priced homes into the foreclosure picture, Brockleman believes the 2010 foreclosure record will be short-lived. We haven't seen a decrease in the number of calls from banks looking for us to do BPOs, which is said to be broker opinion of value. She said, the opinions are a leading indicator of foreclosure actions. No, we haven't peaked out. I think it's going to increase, said George Hanzemanelis. I'm sorry if I butchered your name there, Mr. Hanzemanelis, who is the former president of the National Association of Mortgage Brokers and president of Bankers First Mortgage in Tannersville. The banks, he said, decided for a time in 2010 to hold off on foreclosures because there were too many homes on the market. That may have resulted in a slowing of the foreclosure growth rate last year. But it takes about 2 years from the time a bank institutes a foreclosure and the time it occurs locally with notice requirements and an 18-month backlog at the sheriff's department. When the homeowner gets to the 22nd month, we see a lot of them filing for bankruptcy, which stops the foreclosure. Hanzemanelis, I'm so sorry, mister, said. Then they back out of the bankruptcy a few months later, and now the bank has to get back in line for another 18 months. Hanzemanelis thinks there will be another 2 years of rising foreclosures before inventory even starts to go away and we see any improvements in the real estate market. While foreclosures are still increasing, home sales in some areas in the county have done better than others. Non-foreclosure sales have improved in certain pockets of the community, according to Joan Fitzgerald of Joan Fitzgerald Real Estate in Stroudsburg and Candanessis, but she doesn't see it as an indication of an upswing. I think there is too much to sell. Okay, and again, that was a Pocono Record article dated January 4th, 2011. You can actually Google it and find it online, and the title was Record Number of Foreclosures in Monroe. Realty Experts, we haven't seen peak. The other one was, again, can be Googled. That's how I got the articles from Pocono Record Writer on January 7th, 2011, and it says Monroe Court offers programs to court foreclosures. Now, one of the last things that I saw on there, and I'm a mess here, don't know where the papers are, but was actually, here it goes, right here. That's a mess as I thought I was. Something along those articles that said, are you facing foreclosure? And this was from the Pocono Record. Are you facing foreclosure? And this was dated January 6, 2011. We're looking for Pocono residents who are facing foreclosure who will talk about their situation. Send us MGOUGER at PoconoRecord.com and email detailing your circumstances and contact information. Okay. Yeah, this was done over a year ago, but I plan to send them this information as well. People in my neck of the woods here, and I'm going to extend that to And again, Google it, because you would be surprised to find out how much corruption and crap and lies and sneakiness and all kinds of stuff goes on here. Google it. Find the commissioners going to jail. Google it. Find judges doing stuff that's not right. All over the place in Luzerne counties, Lackawanna County. And so help me, I did not, although I don't know why, foolishness, I guess, suspect a whole lot of it in the Monroe County legal system. Haven't seen a whole lot of it in the news. But certainly in the other areas, you'll have no trouble finding a wealth of information on illegal, extreme criminal activities being conducted by people appointed to preserve the law. It's amazing, and trust me, you'll find more than you could ever imagine. All right, so basically that's where we're at right now. I did get a call from my dad after he processed it. He was at work. And when I say processed it, I mean processed the experience of the court hearing day. The next day from work, he called me and he was like, I am so pissed. And I had to laugh because my dad was quiet during most of the hearing. I even joked with him. I was like, okay, where was that voice yesterday? You know, he was like, I am so pissed. I want the name of the arbitrator. I want the name of the attorney. I want the name of the... I can't believe that they did handle this the way that they did. What was with that comment about I'll say it in English? What was with the arbitrator not saying anything? What was with the arbitrator ready to just close the case and without anything? What was with them not even recognizing the fact that I'm there? What, you know, he was so pissed. So, you know, people, you guys need to know what's going on out there. And I, like I said, meant it, mean it 100%. Don't know how this is going to end up, but I do know that I'm not leaving without a fight. I do know that I'm not a slacker or a sloucher or whatever. Again, 16 years. I've been here for 16 years. I slipped into a major depression when I started struggling, when we started struggling to maintain. And it's just recently that I've had to come to the fact with, or face the fact that, you know what, I'm not a failure. You know, this is the state of the world today. And I think that it really hit me right before election time, as I volunteered as I could. And I actually went around my own community to every single house and, put reminders on their doorknobs of where their polling place was and stuff like that, and spoke to some of my neighbors and stuff who were there or who wanted to speak. It wasn't until then that I saw how many houses in the community that I live in alone in this county were abandoned, that had notices on the door that says this property has been abandoned, were foreclosed. I mean, I knew it was happening. I know personally friends and people that it has happened to, but I didn't realize the extent in which it had happened within my own private community, private development. It's a lot. And so I don't feel like a failure. I feel like somebody who has experienced what so many other, and is experiencing what so many other people are experiencing and have experienced. However, I refuse at this point to allow myself to label myself a failure, and I refuse to let any of you, anybody else, any judge, arbitrator, lawyer, or anybody else label me as such either. I will do what I have to do, and and I'll put the rest in God's hands and ask for his guidance. I will not, however, let people hoodwink me, BS me, lie to me, bold-faced just look at me and assume complete ignorance. Because I know for a fact now, after going back and reviewing the eligibility criteria for this program, that was some shady crap that went down that day. And had I not spoken up, had I not consulted with others prior to going to this meeting, had I not done a little research, had I not used a little common sense, had I gone in there in a depressive fog, like I'm sure so many people have, and as I myself had been in the past, as a result of all of this stuff going on, they would have got me. They would have got me 30 days from now, 30, 45, 60 days from now. They would be taking my house. And the asshole, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call him asshole. Idiot is the name that I indicated. Actually had the nerve to say, "We don't want your house. We don't want your house." Really, I said, then I don't want you to have my house either. Let's negotiate. Let's negotiate. Let's do something. Because one thing that I do know is that the difference between my house and many of the other houses that are coming across this desk and this path is that there's equity in my house, even in this horrible economy, even in this horrible market. I don't owe more on my mortgage than my house is worth. I know it and you know it. And the reason I know that they know it is because they've actually had the balls to come and take pictures of it, of the property. A couple of months ago they did. I see somebody at my property with a camera and just snapping away, taking pictures. I'm like, who the hell are you? Okay? So they know. I know. Yeah. I could turn over the keys and give it to you. You could be completely free of mortgage. You know what? The honest reality of it is I don't even know if these people actually have a note for this property. And I don't know if the arbitrator knows if they have a note for this property, because he really didn't ask any questions. He really didn't ask any questions. He really did not try to encourage negotiation whatsoever. He was real quick to ready to write us off. And I don't want to give anybody a bad name. I don't know if he was having a bad day. We all do. We look at things different. Every day is a different day. And sometimes whatever's going on inside comes out. And the person in front of you gets it. I don't know if that was the situation that day for us. But I do know that it was BS. That what is all written about in articles and on their own Monroe County's website about this program did not occur the way that it is stated that it's supposed to occur. It didn't. And I don't know where I go from here, but I know I'm going somewhere. And anybody who has any advice, who sees this, can help in any way. And I'm not talking about monetary help. I'm talking about legal advice. I can't afford a lawyer. Okay? If I could afford a lawyer, this probably would be a done deal, because any lawyer who would have walked in there, and I'm no lawyer, but I'm no dummy either. I am very grateful for the fact that the 6 years of college taught me, if nothing else, how to research. Because I do know that I paid a whole lot of money for a whole lot of education that was bullshit as well. Okay? A whole lot of history that I don't know whose history was, but it's not mine. Okay? And that's another story too. One thing it taught me to do was to research. Don't just believe it. Don't just buy it because a person in position of what appears to be authority is saying it. Okay? Do your own research. And I'm so glad that I did my own research. And I am so glad that friends of mine, Rob, I'll leave it at that, guided us through some of this process and kind of let me know what to kind of look out for, terminology that might be used. I'm just so grateful. Now I'm putting this out there and I'm asking for any kind of guidance, suggestions, or anything else. And if nothing else, I want to be able to enlighten other people so that they do not go in there and get bamboozled, because bamboozling is going on. And if they look at you and think, because that's what they did, they took a look at us. I wasn't in a suit. I didn't feel I needed to be in a suit. Damn it, I'm struggling already. I thought it would be ridiculous for me to walk into a suit flashing all of that stuff, looking like I ain't got no money. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm going in there as real as I can be. That's the kind of person that I am in this situation, in life, in every situation, with family, at work, in school, no matter what. I'm gonna try to keep it real. Okay? But they mistook my keep it real look, which was pretty much like this: sweater, pair of jeans, pair of boots, ponytail, we got an ignorant one here. We're gonna just snatch this up, keep this moving, because this morning was really busy. The calendar was just slow, everything. We're gonna speed this up, get this out of here, write this off next. And I was just nothing more than another spick. I'm sorry, because that's the feeling that I got when this idiot said, oh yeah, I'll repeat it in English. I hope, Mr. What the heck is your name? I hope Mr. Mark Primrose, attorney from who knows where, because in the lobby I heard you say you were from Allentown. As soon as we went into the office, I was like, hey, you're from Allentown, right? You said, no, I'm right here from Strasburg. I went back, did some research on the actual company, mortgage company, found out that they have no offices in Pennsylvania. Their offices are all in New Jersey. So again, I'm not an attorney. I don't know how this stuff works. Did they hire you to do this, that? Clearly what I do know was that they didn't give you any information to prepare, that you really knew jack crap about what was going on in regards to the house, right down to the address of the property, negotiatings. You didn't even pay attention to the fact that Fernando Costet was sitting right there, and all you did was walk in the door with the mindset that you were going to get us out. That was it. I don't care. And how the hell do you have a conciliation hearing to hear a hardship and not look at the hardship? Mr. Primrose, God bless you. God bless you, because you're an asshole. And one day, you're going to pay for that. Not by me. This is not a threat. Karma's a bitch. What goes around comes around. Everybody else, keep your head up. I'm keeping mine up. And I ain't staying quiet anymore about anything. There is so much more to tell, that I am confident that as soon as I can pull all of this electronic stuff together, in addition to everything else that I have to do, I will make sure that people are aware of the different things that are going on. And if for no other reason than for them to start doing their own research and not to be sitting ducks. Because if these criminals, okay, and they call us criminals, or they look at us, they look at these faces and they say, hey, she's not even worth having this home. Let's just, rip it from under her right now. Okay, if they'll do that to me, they'll do it to you. They probably already have, I'm sure. With the number of foreclosures in this county, and knowing the makeup of this county, having been here for 16 years, knowing what kind of demographics were moving into the area, knowing a little bit about the county that I live in, I know undoubtedly that it's been done to many others, okay, before me. I'm not going out without a fight, okay? And I'm no longer just going to sit back and I'm going to speak. I'm going to speak about all I know, about all I've seen. I don't care where it goes. What do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? Okay? I'm going to speak on the discrimination. I'm going to speak on things that you wouldn't, well, maybe you will believe. I did not have any clue prior to moving to Pennsylvania about how corrupt, how discriminatory, how blatantly foul people, and I'm not talking about the people that we see every day walking down the street in business, are up here, are until I moved up here. And then also educated myself, became involved in different community activities, and pursued a master's degree in business management. Anyway, that's it for now. It's keeps my head spinning. I will keep you updated on what goes on, and again, any advice, suggestions, support, and again, I'm not talking financial support, would be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. Good luck. Hope you're wishing us luck. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.